Turning now to the search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. A lawyer representing a convicted felon says his client and his client's mother were briefly detained and their house was searched in that investigation.
The baffling disappearance of Mrs. Nancy Guthrie, the biological mother of renowned TV host Savannah Guthrie, is stunning the entire United States with twists that feel straight out of a high-stakes crime thriller. In the dead of night in Arizona, a masked intruder disabled the camera, cut off the heart pacemaker signal, and abducted the 84-year-old woman without a trace, leaving behind a blood-stained scene and unimaginable anguish for her family. Is this a calculated kidnapping for ransom, or does it conceal an even darker secret behind the conflicting ransom messages? Let's unravel this gripping search right here. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share your predictions in the comments to stay updated on the latest developments. On a quiet morning in Tucson, Arizona, a case has captured the attention of the entire nation. Nancy Guthrie, an 84-year-old woman in fragile health, suddenly disappeared from her own home. More than 2 months have passed, the case remains unsolved, and new details continue to surface, raising countless questions. Let's revisit this incredibly complex journey together, from the earliest clues to the latest shocking developments. Nancy Guthrie lived a modest life in the Catalina foothills area near Tucson. She is the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the well-known host of the national television program Today. On the evening of January 31st, after spending time with her family, she was brought back home. It seemed like a completely ordinary night, just like any other. However, only a few hours later, everything changed dramatically. On the morning of February 1st, the family realized she had not shown up at church as usual, and the first unusual signs began to emerge. When family members arrived at the house, they found the back door wide open with her phone and wallet still in their original places. There was no indication she had left willingly. Nancy Guthrie had serious health conditions, including a heart pacemaker and the need for daily medication. Her limited mobility made the idea of her wandering off extremely unlikely. Authorities quickly shifted the investigation toward a deliberate abduction. Evidence at the scene suggested this was far from a typical incident. The doorbell camera footage became a major focal point. The images showed a masked man carrying a weapon appearing at the front door in the early morning hours of February 1st. This individual had deliberately tampered with the camera, wearing gloves and even using a tree branch to block the lens. The camera was disabled shortly after. Just minutes later, the app monitoring her heart pacemaker also lost signal. This occurred around 2:28 a.m., marking the final recorded moment from her medical device. These details painted a clear picture of careful planning. The intruder did not act on impulse, but appeared to have surveilled and prepared in advance. Blood was later discovered on the porch and confirmed to be Nancy Guthrie's, further reinforcing the belief that she was taken against her will. The open back door and personal belongings left behind indicated she had no time to prepare or raise an alarm. These elements led investigators to rule out the possibility that she left the house voluntarily. Her family especially. Savannah Guthrie has endured indescribable pain. Savannah paused her work to focus entirely on searching for her mother. In the initial weeks, she and her siblings worked closely with law enforcement. They publicly urged anyone with information to come forward immediately. A reward of up to millions of dollars was offered, including $1 million from the family and $100,000 from the FBI, to encourage public cooperation. What do you think about the strength of family unity in moments like this? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you find this video informative, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to stay updated on the most important news. While the investigation centered on the scene, thousands of tips from the public poured in. Law enforcement received more than 13,000 leads. This was both a benefit and a challenge, as they had to carefully distinguish between valuable information and noise. Search teams combed the area surrounding her home, using tracking dogs and even inspecting discarded items along nearby roads. Surveillance footage from neighboring homes was also collected, capturing vehicles moving around the time of the incident. A glove found near the initial scene sparked significant hope. It matched the type worn by the masked man in the footage. Scientists analyzed DNA and fingerprints, but the results did not match any entries in the national database. A local restaurant worker who was initially suspected was later cleared after further investigation. Dead ends like these heightened anxiety for both the family and the public, but they also helped eliminate incorrect investigative paths. FBI experts became deeply involved in the case. They released images of the suspect with detailed descriptions: a male approximately 5 feet, 9 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall, medium build, carrying a black 25-liter Ozark Trail backpack. This backpack became a key identifying detail for the public. The FBI also noted that the suspect may have conducted surveillance on the home beforehand based on images recovered from backup data. Nancy Guthrie is not just a missing person, but a mother and grandmother whose life is deeply connected to her family. Despite her age and fragile health, she lived independently. The fact that she relied on a heart pacemaker made the situation even more urgent, as any disruption could be life-threatening. The family expressed deep concern that she may not be receiving necessary medication. Savannah once shared publicly that they had to prepare mentally for every possible outcome, from hoping she is still alive to fearing the worst. On the 66th day since her disappearance, a new development drew attention. 2 messages were sent to a media outlet just hours apart. The sender claimed to possess critical information about the case. The first message stated that Nancy Guthrie was no longer alive and that they knew the location of her body as well as the identities of those involved. They demanded half a Bitcoin equivalent to about $35,000 in exchange for details. Just hours later, the second message completely contradicted the first. This time, the sender claimed she had been seen alive in Sonora State, Mexico. This region borders Arizona, not far from Tucson. The stark contradiction between the 2 messages raised serious questions. Why would one source provide 2 entirely opposing accounts in such a short time? The sender described themselves as an outsider who had lived abroad for many years, claiming the money was intended to help start a new life rather than profit from the crime. However, investigative experts believe that individuals with genuine information typically contact law enforcement directly rather than going through the media. The timing of the messages also coincided with Savannah Guthrie's return to hosting the Today program after an extended absence, leading many to suspect this could be an attempt to gain attention. Previously, the same individual had reached out weeks earlier, starting in early February. The ransom demands gradually decreased from the initial high amount to lower figures. This raised logical concerns. If the information was truly valuable, why did the price continue to drop? Former FBI agents such as Jason Pack noted that the communication method and lack of consistency significantly reduced the credibility of these claims. Reliable information is usually reported quickly and consistently, not timed around peak media attention. Nevertheless, the family remained open to every possible lead. They publicly responded to the initial ransom messages and maintained a substantial reward to encourage credible information. Savannah and her siblings emphasized that any detail could be valuable as long as it is verified. However, the fast-moving media environment sometimes enabled the spread of misinformation, making it difficult for the public to separate fact from fiction. Have you ever wondered how families endure prolonged uncertainty in cases like this? And how do you think the media should balance reporting with responsibility in missing persons cases? Please share your thoughts below. If this video gives you clearer insight, please like and subscribe to support our channel in continuing to provide updates. The investigation continues to focus on concrete physical evidence. Teams have thoroughly examined the area around her home, analyzing every suspicious detail. A ring camera from a neighbor's house a few miles away captured footage of vehicles moving around the time of the incident. Although its significance has not been officially confirmed, these small details contribute to a broader picture. Investigative work often requires persistence, eliminating possibilities one by one rather than waiting for a single breakthrough. The first few hours after her disappearance remained the most critical. The scene revealed clear signs of disturbance. The camera was tampered with. The medical connection was disrupted, the back door was open, and bloodstains were present on the porch. All of this suggested she was taken without any chance to respond. The presence of a masked individual with careful preparation raised concerns that this was not a random act but possibly involved prior knowledge of the home and her routines. Authorities have publicly dismissed some early rumors, confirming that the family is not considered a suspect. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos stated that the evidence at the home strongly supports the conclusion that this was an abduction. Despite some criticism regarding the initial response time, the investigation quickly shifted toward a criminal case. Hundreds of personnel at both local and federal levels became involved, including the FBI with specialized resources. Savannah Guthrie's public profile has brought widespread attention to the case. This has generated valuable leads from across the country, but has also created significant pressure. Every public statement is closely examined. Experts warn that in such high-profile cases, individuals may attempt to exploit the situation for financial gain or attention. The contrast between the initial ransom messages sent directly to the family and the later ones sent to the media is particularly notable. Nancy Guthrie remains at the heart of every effort. She is not just a case file, but a woman whose life is filled with memories shared with her children and grandchildren. Savannah has returned to hosting with remarkable resilience, sharing that the family continues to hold on to hope while urging the public for support. Her appearance on television serves as a powerful reminder that behind every headline is a real family experiencing profound pain. Although the case has stretched on, investigators remain determined. They continue analyzing DNA, reviewing footage, and following every credible lead. Each passing day presents both a challenge and an opportunity to narrow the search. The original evidence remains the most reliable foundation for progress. In this context, the community is encouraged to keep coming forward with information. Anyone who noticed anything unusual in the Tucson area in early February is urged to contact law enforcement. The reward remains in place to support those who provide leads that help locate her. The case of Nancy Guthrie serves as a stark reminder of how fragile everyday life can be. A home that once felt safe can become a crime scene in an instant. Families are encouraged to strengthen safety measures, especially for elderly individuals living alone. At the same time, public awareness plays a crucial role in ensuring the case is not forgotten. What are your thoughts on how technology like surveillance cameras and medical devices could better assist investigations in the future? And how should we balance public awareness with protecting victims' privacy? Please share your perspective below. Remember to like this video if you value the content and subscribe to stay informed on the latest developments. Experts such as Jennifer Coffindaffer have noted that the timing of the recent messages appears designed to influence public perception. It coincided with heightened national attention on the Guthrie family. The conflicting claims about Nancy being dead or alive in Mexico only deepened the confusion. Instead of offering verifiable proof, the sender demanded money through indirect channels. This behavior contrasts with that of genuine witnesses who typically cooperate without seeking personal gain. Meanwhile, the official reward from the family and the FBI has been widely publicized. Ignoring that opportunity further raises suspicion. Despite thousands of tips, no major breakthrough has been achieved. Nancy Guthrie is a grandmother of 3 grandchildren, a devoted mother, and an active member of her religious community. Her disappearance has impacted not only her family, but also many viewers across the nation. Savannah often spoke about her mother on air, describing her as a source of inspiration. Now that absence feels more profound than ever. Authorities continue coordinating efforts between local law enforcement and the FBI. They have examined the surrounding area, analyzed DNA samples, and tracked suspicious movements. Although no specific suspect has been identified, the profile of the masked individual is becoming increasingly detailed, including estimated height and identifiable items such as the black Ozark Trail backpack. Do you think the investigation is on the right path by focusing on the original evidence rather than recent messages? Or is a new perspective needed to break the stalemate? Each passing day brings the family face to face with 2 powerful emotions, hope and fear. They cannot choose one over the other, they must live with both. Savannah has acknowledged this openly in recent statements. She returned to work with a strong sense of duty, though clearly carrying a heavy emotional burden. The case reminds us that behind every dramatic headline lies real human suffering. Investigators emphasize that the earliest hours remain the most crucial. The crime scene with the tampered camera disrupted medical connection, and bloodstains continues to guide the investigation. Regardless of rumors, these physical facts remain constant and central to the search. As the case continues, the public can easily be drawn to new but unverified details. Experts advise focusing on the core reality: a vulnerable woman whose normal life was abruptly disrupted by an unknown individual. There was no evidence she left voluntarily or experienced a typical accident. Instead, all signs point to external involvement. The FBI has released updated images of the suspect, including estimated height and identifiable items like the black Ozark Trail backpack. These details are intended to help the public recognize the individual if encountered. Authorities also urge anyone with information about vehicles seen near the area to come forward immediately. The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is not only a criminal mystery but also a sobering lesson about the fragility of everyday security. A home once considered safe has become a crime scene. Surveillance cameras meant for protection were manipulated to conceal criminal activity. The heart pacemaker designed to sustain life instead became evidence of a sudden disruption. These elements prompt a broader reflection on safety measures for ourselves and our loved ones. While awaiting progress, the family continues to call for community support. They believe that someone somewhere may hold the final piece of the puzzle. Patience and a commitment to truth are essential in navigating this difficult time. Reports from Reuters and other reputable sources indicate that the investigation remains active, even without definitive results. Authorities have ruled out multiple possibilities and narrowed the focus. Coordination among agencies continues despite occasional procedural disagreements mentioned by internal sources. Such challenges do not diminish the overall effort, but highlight the complexity of the case. Nancy remains at the center of it all. She is not just a statistic, but a mother, grandmother, and cherished member of her community. Each update carries both fragile hope and significant challenges. As we continue to follow this case, it is essential to remain objective, thoughtful, and deeply respectful toward the family as they endure an incredibly painful and uncertain time. In situations like this, emotions can run high and speculation can spread quickly, but maintaining a clear and balanced perspective is more important than ever. This case serves as a powerful reminder that the truth is rarely found in the loudest claims or the most sensational headlines, but rather in the steady, consistent details that remain unchanged over time. Careful analysis, patience, and respect for verified information are what ultimately guide investigations toward real answers, even when progress feels slow and uncertainty continues to linger. The original crime scene with the masked individual, disabled camera, and bloodstains remains the strongest foundation. No matter how much time passes, these facts retain their significance. They suggest that the answer may already exist within the known details waiting to be properly connected. The public plays a vital role by sharing credible information rather than spreading unfounded rumors.